Hello and welcome to Spirit Among Us. We live lives of action. As people, we tend to be focused on what we can get done during the day. We like to get things done. We like to accomplish things. And in our lives, when it comes to feeling anxious and having stress, sometimes it can feel like our list of things to do is just so large that all we can think about, all that takes up our mind and our thoughts is what we need to do, what we need to accomplish, what we need to get done. When that translates into action, it can feel like we're running on a hamster wheel. We're always moving, we're always doing, but we're never really getting a foothold. There never seems to be a reprieve where we can stop and say, okay, I got it all done. Because very often life doesn't work that way. We don't get to that place where we can say, oh, I got it all done. Because it always seems like there's something else we can do. And as a result of that, this creates a cycle of stress and anxiety where we feel like we need to keep doing more and more in order to get that foothold. So there comes the hamster wheel. We keep doing more and more, but it doesn't give us a real foothold. And as Christians in our lives, God has a different way for us. Instead of trying to accomplish more and more in order to be sure that we stand on solid ground, instead of striving to get a foothold, He instead calls us to rest. Matthew chapter 11 verses 28 through 30. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Now wait a second. How can rest give us a foothold? Well, when we come into the presence of God, when we come to Jesus, us who are heavy laden, when we rest at His feet, when we spend time with Him, He realigns our focus. We remember that our lives really aren't about what we accomplish. Our lives aren't about that at all. Our eternal security is in Christ. It's in Him. It's in the cross and what He did, and nothing can change that. That is what our lives are really about. And the other thing that happens when we take time to rest at Jesus' feet is we learn to trust Him with our situations. See, if we let it happen, our lives will consume us. It's easy to stay on the hamster wheel and be completely caught up in our striving, our burdens, and our anxiety. But the truth is we need rest. And if we don't work to make time to rest at the feet of Jesus, we can't hope to live without anxiety. If we just keep running and running and running and accomplishing as much as we possibly can, we will not live lives without anxiety. Now, why is that? Because it's only in those quiet moments that God is able to really speak to us. And it's for that reason that Psalm 46 verse 10 says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." A command from God to be still, because only in the stillness, when we stop and when we rest, only in those moments can we come to truly know who God is. If we never take time to rest, if we never take time to stop and come into the presence of God, we will forget what it's all about. Jesus has offered us His easy yoke and His light burden. But the only way we can have access to those things is by resting at His feet. When we feel overwhelmed with life, when we feel like we can't go on or we can't get a foothold and we're just striving endlessly on the hamster wheel that is our lives, God calls us to be still before Him, to surrender our anxiety, surrender our worries, and just to rest. It is way too easy to get caught up in everything we need to accomplish in our lives, everything we want to get done. But let us be people that remember it's only in stillness that God can really speak to our hearts. And let us choose to rest every day at the feet of Jesus. Thank you for watching, and God bless.